Hi guys, today I am doing a video that I have been wanting to do since I started this channel. I've had so many requests to do a video that is more of a beginner tutorial on the basics of doing your eyeshadow and your eye makeup. And I have been doing it for so many years that I've been taking some of the steps for granted. So I decided to do an in-depth video on all the basic things that you need to know when you start doing eyeshadow. So if you are new to doing eyeshadow or you think you might pick up some tips, then keep watching and I hope you enjoy the video. Doing your makeup can be a form of art. And just like with any piece of art, you need to start off with a clean canvas. It is very important to wash your face before you do your makeup, because even if you've washed your face just a few hours ago and you're still fresh and clean, there are a lot of natural oils that build up on your skin and that can interfere with a smooth eye makeup application or even your foundation if you do your makeup. So first step, make sure you start off with clean skin and a clean face. To prevent your under eyes from looking dry and old, it's very important to put some under eye cream under your eyes before you start doing your makeup. If you want to brighten up your under eyes, I suggest using one with a bit of caffeine in there. It just increases the blood flow under the eyes and makes it look plumper and fresher. I have this one that I got in one of those monthly makeup boxes ones, and I use this one before I do my eye makeup just to brighten up the under eyes. You don't need to use a lot. Use your ring finger to apply products to your face. It places the least amount of pressure and it prevents you from dragging out this very sensitive and delicate skin under your eyes. I like doing that before I do my eyeshadow, then at least that gets time to set by the time I put my concealer on. Then the next step is to decide whether you want to do your face makeup first or whether you want to do your eyeshadow first. Normally I do my eyeshadow first because if you have some fallout or anything gets onto your face, it's easy to just clean it up and fix everything that fell on your face before doing your face makeup. Otherwise, if you do your face makeup first and you have a lot of fallout, it kind of messes it up when you clean it up and try to layer over it, and it's just a big mess sometimes. If you do use an eyeshadow that you trust, that's good quality and doesn't normally give any fallout, then you can easily do your face makeup first. It's kind of a personal preference thing. There's no better way to do it. I prefer doing it before I do my face makeup when I work with colors or when I just want to do general makeup. When I'm in a hurry, I usually do my face makeup first, but then I do a grab and go with one of my very trusted eyeshadow shades or eyeshadow palettes, and I know that I won't have issues with fallout. A thing that I want to note is that when you work with bluer or purpler shades, the fallout tends to make your under eyes look a lot more saggy. So especially for those colors, I like to do my face makeup last. The alternative, if you really like doing your face makeup first, is to get some of those under eye patches that catches the fallout, and then you can just pull it off. I know some people do a thick layer of setting powder under the eyes, and that makes it easier to brush away any fallout, but when you are a bit older and your eyes tend to dry a lot easier, then a thick layer of setting powder doesn't work well under the eyes. So for those cases, I would rather use one of those under eye strips or just do your eyeshadow first. Remember to always prime your face before you do your makeup. Even if you don't have a makeup primer, you can still use a lotion or a moisturizer to just create some moisture and kind of a barrier between your skin and your cosmetics so that it doesn't pull into your pores as easily. Okay, then for eyebrows. When it comes to shaping your eyebrows, when you're really a beginner, I suggest you go to a beautician the first time so that they can shape your eyebrows for you. It just helps with getting the general shape down for your eyebrows, and they usually know how to shape your eyebrows best. And if you're a bit nervous of messing it up the first time, it also helps to see where they remove hairs and where they leave hairs, and just get a feel for what your eyebrow shape should look like. If you do want to do it yourself, there are different tools and different techniques you can use. You can remove the unwanted eyebrow hair with wax strips. I don't normally use wax strips because any kind of wax gives me a terrible rash and it doesn't go away before the hair grows back, so wax doesn't work for me. I prefer to pluck my eyebrows with a tweezer and just shape them by plucking it one by one. Other tools for eyebrows are the spoolie with a brush, normally a very thin angled brush. That's more for filling your eyebrows. However, I use the spoolie when I comb through my eyebrows. And then you get a little scissor. Sometimes you get one with a bit of an angle. I like the angled one. It helps me with the shape. So what I do is I comb out my eyebrows and see how many long eyebrow hairs there are. Then you use the scissors to just cut the eyebrows that are too long. I normally flip it over for these. It's just easier to catch the straight hairs from the other side. And you can just shape your eyebrows when it's brushed up like that. And the idea is just to cut along the edge so that when your brows are gelled up, then it looks neat and tidy. And then you just remove all the hairs that you don't want. I will insert an image on the ideal places to start and end your plucking or shaping. I know it's very intimidating to shape your eyebrows yourself. It's difficult to know where to start and where to stop. An easy guideline would be to line the inner side of your eyebrows with the outer edge of your nose parallel to the inner corner of your eye. So if you draw a straight line from the outer edge of your nose, the inner corner of your eye upwards, that would give you a nice guide of where to start plucking your eyebrows towards the center and where to shape your eyebrows to. The outer edge would be the side of your nose, the outer corner of your eye up to the eyebrow. That gives you a good guide of where to stop plucking your eyes at the outer edge. Another popular eyebrow shaping tool is to just shave around the edges. I normally do this with the upper part here for all the fine eyebrows that I couldn't pluck. It's just a razor blade and you basically just place it against your eyebrows and clean up to the outer sides just to remove all the unwanted hairs, and it really helps smooth out your makeup application. Okay, so now for the brow products that you use to fill and set your eyebrows. to fill, you can usually use an eyebrow pencil like this one. I suggest using an eyebrow pencil when you're a beginner. It's the easiest to use. It normally comes with a spoolie, so you don't have to buy that separately if you don't have one. I like using a twisty one, and I usually prefer using a thinner eyebrow pencil just to make it easier to draw those eyebrow lines. But this one does have a bit of a thicker point. It is a great color for my eyebrows though. And then you also get a pomade. It is a jelly consistency type of thing, sometimes a moussey consistency. It looks like that. And what you do is you take like an angled brush, a thin angled brush, and then you shape your eyebrows with that. And then the other filler product is a brow powder. I don't have any brow powders. I usually just use a similar shade eyeshadow than my eyebrows if I want to do a powdered type of look. I don't know if the formula is different from the eyebrow powders. I haven't used an eyebrow powder yet. I will do that one day. I just haven't had the need to buy it yet, and I've been happy with the brow products that I've been using, and I have been prioritizing other products over brow products when I have to buy new stuff. So then you get your brow gels. Sometimes you get the fillers, which looks like a mascara type of thing. And then sometimes you get the ones that only set your eyebrows. So make sure when you buy the gels that you make sure that you see whether it's a filler or a setter. The fillers have a habit of clinging to the sides of the hairs and just plumping it up a bit more, whereas the setters are like a hair gel. They hold everything into place. You do sometimes get like the combination products that keeps everything into place and fills it up a bit more. I prefer using a brow pencil or the pomade with a clear brow gel, because I feel like the fillers just, I don't have that much control over my eyebrows when I use the fillers. And also I have this weird gap over here. When I was young, I was in a car accident and I've got some scarring there on the eyebrow, and the fillers don't really cover up enough there where the scarring is. That's why I prefer using something like the pencil or the pomade to just fill up everywhere that I have those gaps in the eyebrows. Okay, so the technique that works best for me with the pencil is to just do a soft outline on the outer sides of the eyebrow, basically just filling the gaps on the edges. I'll do that with the top and the bottom, just shaping the brow in the shape that I prefer. And then I like to feather up with the brow pencil, kind of creating fake eyebrow strokes. It's better for me to use a thinner eyebrow pencil for that, because you can just get more realistic eyebrow strokes. I do know Maybelline has a thin eyebrow pencil like that, and also LA Girl has a very affordable, very nice thin eyebrow pencil. I think it's the Shady Slim series, and I really like using the ash brown or brunette. There's one of the brown colors there that really goes well with my eyebrow color, and then it's not that deep mess of a eyebrow color. It's more natural strokes, so your eyebrows look a lot more natural when you do that. And then I like to take a spoolie and just brush through the eyebrows, see where I need to fill some gaps more, and just try to create more of a fluffy natural look instead of one solid block of color. I'm not too concerned with spreading the color too much on the eyes because I'm going to clean up afterwards. And just brush upwards and outwards to just lift those eyebrows. And then I just fill out wherever I still feel there's a bit of a gap. And then I take my clear brow gel and I just brush it upwards, and again here at the end outwards, and that should just hold your eyebrows in place so that they don't move around a lot. I like this Benefits 24-hour brow setter gel. Another nice one that's a bit more affordable that you can use is the NYX Control Freak, the clear brow setter gel. It really holds the brows in place nicely. Then I just like to take a concealer brush and just clean up the edges a bit. I don't place any concealer on yet. I'll do that when I prime my eyes. Just want to make sure everything is nice and shaped and clean. Okay, so the last important step before you start doing the eyeshadow part is to prime your eyelids. This is very important to create a blank canvas for your eyelids and to even out the color and just to create a general base for your eyeshadow look. You do get different eye primers. You get some with more of a base color, and then you get some that's a bit more clear. I prefer using something with a base color just to set the color and make everything blank. Do you understand what I mean? Like a clean slate, just to even out the skin tone of your eyelids. The eyeshadow primer that I currently use is this one from Urban Decay. It works great for making your eyeshadow colors pop, and it really grabs onto that eyeshadow and just really enhances the color. And so I normally use that when I really want to intensify my eyeshadow colors. But the one that I use more is a concealer. I always use, I can't remember the name now. I'll just add an image or something here. It's one of my favorite concealers. It doesn't dry out my eyes. However, I recently broke mine, so I need to repurchase that. In the meantime, I've been using the NARS Creamy Concealer to prime my eyes with, and it works well. I like using this one. When you put some concealer on, you don't need to put a lot. I normally just do a dot or two. It normally goes a long way. And you can use your finger or just a concealer brush to blend it out. Just get it all over the lid. Try not to mess up the brows. And just blend it all over. You can also use a sponge to blend it out with. What I do after I've used a concealer with my eyelids is I set it with a setting powder. I usually use the Huda Beauty setting powder. This one is in the color Banana Bread. It's close enough to my skin tone that it doesn't look weird. And I think also if you can use a translucent setting powder, it works well. When you set your concealer with the setting powder, it helps blend out the colors more easily. It's very useful for a beginner to just get smoother blend on the eyeshadow, and I kind of highly recommend doing that. If you want more intense colors or more fixed colors, you might not want to set it with a setting powder, but in that case I would rather use the eyeshadow primer instead of the concealer. If you don't want to use a setting powder, you can also use a matte eyeshadow powder. I usually use like a bone color type of eyeshadow powder to set my eyeshadow if I don't want to use a setting powder. The other thing with the setting powder, it's not only to help you blend the colors more easily, but it also sets the concealer so that it doesn't create some creasing in your eyelids. So it helps prevent that. You don't get the creasing so much when you use a primer. I think it's more designed to go sit on your eyelids so it doesn't crease as easily as a concealer does. However, it works well when you just set the concealer. And then before I go into the eyeshadows, I just want to talk about the tools quick. The eyeshadow brushes. My eyeshadow game really started improving the day I bought myself a decent set of eyeshadow brushes. Now, a decent set of eyeshadow brushes does not need to break the bank. You can buy an affordable set of eyeshadow brushes as long as you buy something that you can easily blend with, not just use those spongy brushes. The spongy brushes do have a place in my eye makeup routine. However, it's not good for blending eyeshadow. It's not good for placing precise product. I would recommend getting, if you can't, at least get a beginner eyeshadow set. The one that I started off with was Crown Pro Brushes, has an eye set and it has a nice variety. I don't know if they make it still. I'll put a link in the description box if I can find it, but they make an eyeshadow set that's very affordable and it has all the brushes that you need to start off with. If you don't want to buy a whole bunch of brushes, I would recommend at least buying a fluffy brush that you can blend your eyeshadows with. I also like using this one from Essence. It has a bit more of a dense, compact, fluffy brush. And then it has the bigger blender fluffy brush. So I would use this for the darker shades in the crease, and then I would use this all over the eyelid. It works well when you travel and it's really affordable. Okay, so let's talk about eyeshadow. There's a lot more to know about eyeshadow than you would initially think, because the eyeshadow that you put on your eyes really creates different effects depending on what you are adding, how you're adding it. The first thing to figure out is what your color tone is. If you want to do an everyday neutral type of look, you can easily pick up what colors gives you compliments and what colors, when you wear them, people often tell you that you look tired or not well rested. The colors that people often tell you that you look tired in, those colors usually don't go well with your skin tone. They clash with your skin tone, and they tend to, if you only wear those colors, they tend to sometimes make your eyes look dirty or muddy. Your eyeshadow doesn't look as natural or as well blended with those colors than they do with the colors that are complementary to your skin tone. So I might do a video one day on skin tone comparison, but for now you can just go online and Google some hints and tips on how to match your skin tone and how to determine what colors work best for your skin tone. That being said, I don't believe that all eyeshadow colors follow a recipe of only using cool tones or warm tones or olive tones. I like using a mix, and I feel like just playing around and getting a feel for what works for your eyes is the best idea. The reason for that is cool tone colors tend to be able to give more depth and create shadow where you want to contour your eyes a bit more. Whereas warm tone colors can bring color and depth without creating that much of a shadow. So I normally like to have a bit of a cool tone in the parts where I want to push my eyes back, especially with the hooded eyes when you do this deep inner crease part. Just above the lid, I like to create some depth, and the cool tone shades work well for that. Then the textures of the eyeshadow. You will notice that sometimes eyeshadow palettes have all these different textures, and if you're a beginner you might not know how to use those or where to apply them, and that also has a big impact on how your eyeshadow looks at the end of the day. You get your matte colors, which are the colors that's more chalky and they don't look shiny on your eyes. Then you get your shimmery colors, you get your glittery colors, and then you get your hybrids, which are a mix between the mattes and the glitters and the shimmers, and they all have their own purpose on the eye. The matte eyeshadows, the texture has a way of muting certain parts in your eyes, so that goes well with the cool tones or with the eyeshadow shades that you want to create depth with and not draw as much attention to. Whereas the shimmery colors tend to brighten up the eyes and they tend to draw the attention. So a nice place to put your shimmers are on the lids and the inner corners and maybe on just the top part of your brow bone, and those will emphasize the features on your face. The glitters I normally only put on the eyelid. It's a nice way of giving a bit of pop to your eyeshadow look without being dramatic all over the eye. But for those, you normally need to use an eyeshadow glue unless you have a very good formula. They are usually a bit more moist and kind of have their eyeshadow glue formula built into the eyeshadow or the glitter. You also get, I use the Pat McGrath Intensifies Eye Stick. It's a bit more waxy. It doesn't have that sticky feel that a glitter glue has. It's not runny, and it works well for me to not only set my glitters but also with shimmery shades to enhance the shimmer and basically have them get more dense on the eyelid. So if you want a really strong shine, it helps to just improve the quantity of pigment and shimmer that gets left behind on the eyelid. So you don't have as much fallout and you have more of that shiny sticking to the eye. An important thing that you need to be aware of when you use glitters on the eye is that you can't just use any glitter on your eyes. It's very important to make sure you use an eye safe glitter on your eyes. Otherwise, when those flecks fall into your eyes, it can actually do some damage to your eyeball. It can cut into the eyeball. So be sure to use an eye safe glitter, or when an eyeshadow palette specifically says body glitter not intended for the eyes, this is the reason why. It's because those glitters are not eye safe glitters, and if those get into your eye, it can cause permanent damage. Then when you look at the quality of your eyeshadows, there are a few things that you need to look at to make sure whether a product is of high quality or whether it's a low quality product. Things that you can look out for is how pigmented the colors are. You can often buy eyeshadow palettes that really look beautiful in the pan, but once you start applying it to your eyes, you lose all that color, and that we call the pigmentation of the product. When more pigment is added to the formula, the pigmentation on the eye tends to be more intense, and your higher quality eyeshadows tend to have more pigment in there so that you do not have to layer 20 times to get the depth you want from your eyeshadow. Then you get the blendability of the eyeshadows. That's how easy the eyeshadow blends out. So when you've put the pigment on and it's too dark, how easily can you buff it out? Does it leave some muddy aftermath after you've blended it out, or does it blend out easily? And then the other thing that you can look out for is the durability of the product. Does it last beautifully on your eye for the first 5 minutes, and then after a few hours, when your eye starts excreting its natural oils, it starts fading or comes off easily? So that also influences the quality of the eyeshadow product. That being said, I also want to note that there are many factors that can influence the quality of your eyeshadow application. You might have a product that doesn't work well with a specific primer or a specific brush. So if you have eyeshadows that you've started working with and it doesn't look well on the eyes, try using it with a different primer, or try using it with maybe a bit less powder or with a different eyeshadow brush, because it often happens that your eyeshadow just doesn't work well with the primer or the brush that you've applied it with. Another thing that I can mention is that glitters and shimmer shades tend to apply more intensely to the eyes when you use your fingers or when you use a spongy brush to apply them to the eyes. Those cheap spongy brushes that you get with most of your drugstore eyeshadow palettes, they work really well for applying intense shimmery and glittery shades, and people tend to neglect those brushes because they don't realize how impactful they can be with a good quality eyeshadow that has a lot of shimmery shade in there. As I said, with your basic, you definitely need to have the fluffy and then maybe something a bit more intense to work in the crease. But there are different eyeshadow brushes that you can use on your eyes. As I've mentioned before, you get the angled brush. Normally it has a spoolie at the end. These work well for applying brow products and also for applying eyeliner when you do powder eyeliner or gel eyeliner. Then you get more of a flat packing brush that works well for applying shimmer shades. I usually use a good packing brush when I do the shimmer shades, or when I really want some pop, I use the spongy brush or a finger. But these usually work for placing more concentrated eyeshadow product, especially when you want to deepen up the outer edges with a dark matte color. It works well for precision placement. What I like to do when I buy eyeshadows is I like to look for a formula with a lighter and a darker matte color, and then a lighter shimmer color that I can use on the inner corner and the brow bone, and then a sparkly color that I can use on the lid. A good example of that is this eyeshadow palette from Pat McGrath. It's really my grab and go eyeshadow palette when I'm in a hurry. It has a nice transition shade, Sunset Taupe, which I normally use all over the eye. I normally place the color in the deepest crease part and blend it upwards, and this eyeshadow blends like a dream and the colors complement my eyes very well. You don't have to put in a lot of effort to get a nice blend with this. It is more on the expensive side, but you do get cheaper products that work as well. And then I like to take the darker Velvet Eclipse color. The darker shade I normally place in the crease, this deepest part of the crease. And as I said, I never put shimmery shades on the eye or in the crease because it enhances those areas. I do the matte shades for this area because I want to send it back. So this works well for creating some depth here. And I normally take it up a bit more because I do have the hooded eyes and I want more depth. If I put it too low down, then it disappears the moment I rest my eyes. So I need to just bring up these darker shades a bit more to just create a bit more depth. And then you can just go back with the blending brush and blend everything out. Now, the most important technique for a beginner to know when it comes to eyeshadow is blend, blend, blend. Especially when it looks a bit patchy, the best thing you can do is overblend. You can never blend your eyeshadows too much. And that's when it creates that smooth transition from light to dark. And when you create the type of eyeshadow look that gives you compliments. I'm just going to take some of the Gilded Glamour on the finger. I'm not going to place any prime product because I just want a little bit of shimmer. And these tend to stay on long enough. I'm not going anywhere today. I'm going to wash it off soon, so I'm not going to bother priming my eyelids with this. And see how easy it is to just get a soft glam look with just a little bit of sparkle and some shading in the crease. Now this step really changed my eyeshadow game when I started doing my eyeshadow. And that's to just take a little bit of a light shimmery color. I'm now taking the Nude Solaris and placing it in this inner corner of your eye. You don't even need to place a lot. It just brings your eyes out a bit. And even if you feel like it's too much, you can just go back with a soft fluffy brush and blend it out slightly, and that really enhances the eyeshadow look. I'm going to take some of that on the thin fluffy brush and just place it close to the eyebrows. I don't want to bring the shimmer down too low. It just lifts the eyebrow a bit when you place some of the light shimmery color there. I normally go lighter because I want to lift it a bit more. And then you can just see what I do there with the technique. It goes from light where I want to lift, then darker when I want to send it back, and then I want to enhance the lid a bit, so then I put the shimmery shade there, whereas the darker shade's matte to send it back. And then here in the middle, I want that to draw attention, and that's why I put the shimmery shades here. For under the eyes, I'm just going to use some of Sunset Taupe and just create a little bit of depth under the eye just to round up the eyeshadow look. An important thing that you need to know when you start with eyeshadow is to always tap your brush off. Especially when you haven't used the formula before and you don't know how it applies. Rather reapply more layers to create depth than applying too much and then you can't blend it out. So there I'm just creating a little bit of depth under the eye to send this part back. That creates a flatter eyeshadow look and it helps with saggy eyes to just create a flatter under eye. And that's what it looks like before we even put any eyeliner or mascara on. And it sometimes looks like it needs something, but that's because it does need something. Eyelashes is very important in your eye makeup. If you don't do at least mascara, then it looks bland, and I feel like it's a very important step to just round off your eyeshadow look. So let's talk about eyeliner. You do get just like with the eyebrow products, different types of eyeliners. The easy one to start off with is a pencil eyeliner or a kohl eyeliner. A nice formula that works well to get some pigmentation on the eyes, and they are normally very smooth to work with. They blend easily. You get the kohl gel eyeliners. They apply well on the eyes, and when you feel like you've messed something up, it's easy to blend it out a bit and just reshape it a bit before it sets. I also like using the kohl eyeliners when I do eyeliner in the waterline. That's basically the only eyeliner I do apply in the waterline. It works the best for me. Just like with the brow pencils, you do get the kohl liners with a twisty end like this, and then you also get the ones with the pencil that you sharpen like a normal pencil. However, when you sharpen them, don't use a standard sharpener. The formula is softer and the pencil is softer, so you should use a cosmetic sharpener when you sharpen the cosmetic products. When you put on your eyeliner, try not to drag your eyes like this. It's not good for the under eyes, and it really speeds up the aging process. So this is very difficult to get used to, but it's best to apply your waterline eyeliner by just dragging it inside the waterline and trying not to touch the eyeball. I'm just going to swap to a different one. This one doesn't work well for the waterline. So the second type of eyeliner I want to talk about is the liquid eyeliner. You do get those little pots with the eyeliner with a brush inside that you can basically unscrew and then use the brush on the eyelid. However, I like using this one. I feel like I've got a bit more control on the amount of product I add, and if you get those others in your eye, you feel like you die. So this works better for me. These are nice for when you want to do some precision eyeliner. So when I want to do more of a smoky look, I use the pencil, and if I want more precision, I use this liquid eyeliner. So let me tell you the tip that I use when I wing my eyeliners, especially with the hooded eye. I start from my eye to the angle of the edge of my brow. I don't like a very long wing, so I just start around there, and then I draw a line to the angle where the eye corner is. Oh, I'm too far away from the mirror, I'm struggling. And then from there, see this deep rivet from your lid. You draw to the rivet, and then from the rivet to about the center of the lid there. So from there, and that's how you create the winged line that works well with hooded eyes. So I'm not good with precision eyeliner, but this is how I normally do it. And then if you want to get close to your lash line, it works to keep the line as flat as possible. So I rest my hand against my cheek, and then I press the flat part against the lid instead of the end of the pencil. It just gives me more control to get a very tight line close to the eye. Okay, I have some stuff I need to go do, so I will go do those and then I will come back and continue with the video. I still need to talk about lashes. Okay, so I know it looked different. Some time has passed since I last recorded, but I finally got around to continuing this video. So before I jump into eyelashes, I just wanted to mention the gel eyeliners. They usually come in a little pot like this. I'm using the Maybelline Lasting Drama Gel Eyeliner here. You can apply these gel eyeliners with a thin eyeliner pencil or with an angled eyeliner pencil. The ones I have is this one, and then I have a very small one that works better for details. Now, I'm generally not very good with detailed eyeliner. I tend to try and blend out my eyeliner because it's easier to do and it looks more natural to me. But what you do is you just take your angled brush and you dip it into the eyeliner and then you just paint it on. And what works nicely with the gel eyeliners is setting them with a powder, like a black eyeshadow powder, and that really makes it last a lot longer than your eyeliners normally would. So if you really want to get a very dark eye, using a gel eyeliner works perfectly. What I normally do is I set it with a powder eyeliner, and if I just want a bit more intensity, then I go over it with a liquid eyeliner afterwards. Now, I tend not to use these in the waterline. I think it's like liquid eyeliner that really burns when it goes into your eyes. I haven't poked myself in the eye with this yet, but I don't want to try. However, I have had liquid eyeliner in the eye. That's not very pleasant. I usually just use the kohl liners in the waterline. And I'm just setting it with a black eyeshadow. I feel like it gives it a really very dark line, and it sets it so that it lasts all day. Okay, so now generally when you use a black kohl eyeliner in your waterline, it tends to make your eyes look a bit smaller because the white area is smaller now. However, when you use false lashes, it kind of opens up the eye a bit, and I like the way it looks with the dark close to my eyes. It kind of gives it a bit more of a pop. However, when I try to do a more natural look, I go in with either a white or even like a very light peachy beige color, almost like a concealer color, and then I just put the eyeliner at the bottom of the lash line. And that also opens up your eyes. Okay, so now for eyelashes. First of all, the tools with eyelashes. I have a little crimping tool like this. This is I think it's a MAC, yes, it's a MAC eyelash curler. And this one I got like a bazillion years ago. It still works. I haven't needed to replace it really. I actually do want to get a smaller one because it feels like this eye is a bit small and it presses, the sides presses against the eye. So, but I don't really know how to check for the sizes, but I do know you get eyelash curlers for smaller eyes, and you also get all kinds of gimmicky things like the heated eyelash curlers that has kind of a heater type of thing in the eyelash curler that's battery operated, and that basically works like a curling iron to just keep the curl in longer. The eyelash curler is there to lift your eyelashes, so when you curl your eyelashes upwards, it makes it look longer. If you don't like using eyelash curlers, but you still like the look of the curled eyelashes, then you can always go for an eyelash lift. That's where they basically perm your eyelashes, and you can also choose whether you want a full curled eyelash or whether you only want it to be curled close to the roots. Then they basically keep the end straight and lift the eyelash without curling the entire eyelash. So for applying your mascara, it's ideal to take a clean spoolie and first brush through your eyelashes and just get all of the knots and stuff out. It just makes your eyelashes look more separated when you apply your mascara. Now you do get a whole lot of different types of mascara. The one that I like the most is the Maybelline this Sensational Sky High mascara, because it's like a tubing mascara. It doesn't smudge against my eyelids, and I like to walk a lot when I go to work, so then my face tends to get a little bit sweaty, and when I wear normal mascara, the eyelashes tend to get a bit wet, and then it smudges against the entire upper lid. And I've been struggling so long to try and find something that does not do that. So I've been trying waterproof mascaras, and I've been trying all kinds of techniques like powdering your lid after applying your eyeshadow, so that the mascara doesn't or so that the lid doesn't get wet and the mascara doesn't smudge. But this one has worked the best for me so far. So if you have difficulty with smudgy eyelids, then try this one out. Then you get the waterproof mascara that it's really difficult to get off when you clean your face. You have to use a decent oil-based makeup remover to get them off. However, if you like to have your curls stay in longer, the waterproof mascara really helps to keep that curl in longer. And then just a really nice affordable mascara that really lengthens your eyelashes is this Princess Essence mascara. I don't wear it as much as it smudges on my lids a lot, but it really looks nice if you want to do like just a quick photo or shoot a quick video or do a video call or something, and you're not planning on wearing it the whole day. Then this one works very great to just make your eyelids really pop, your eyelashes really pop. Okay, so I messed some of the mascara on my eye there, which is actually really great because now I get to show you the trick that I use to clean up mascara. Because if you just go in immediately with a wipe or something, then it smudges or it messes up the makeup that you already applied. So I'm going to show you a trick. It's something that I saw once on a YouTube video. I can't remember who showed it, but it's been working like a bomb for me. So what you do is you first wait for it to dry so that it gets flaky, and then you take a clean spoolie brush and then you just rub it off like that, and it doesn't mess up your eyeshadow, and it cleans off the mascara very quickly and easily. Okay, then for applying eyelashes, you do get different kinds of eyelashes. This is not a mandatory step in your makeup routine. However, it does make a big difference in opening up your eyes and making your eyes look more feminine and flattery. You can go for a more permanent eyelash extension at a beautician. Then what they do is they glue some single or fan eyelashes onto your existing lashes. Those normally last about a week to 2 weeks, and then you can just go for top-ups for all the pieces that started falling out once a week. And that really helps opening up your eyes. You can't use normal mascara on that though. You do get a special type of tubing mascara that you wear on the lash extensions, and that's great for if you get married, for example, and you want your lashes to last throughout your honeymoon and you don't want a lot of effort afterwards. So that's what I did when I got married. It really helps to make your lashes look stunning even after the wedding, and not have to worry about eyelashes falling off or anything like that. Then you also get different types of eyelashes that you can apply at home. You get the full length eyelashes like this one. I'll show you how I apply these. And then you also get the singles and the fans and like shorter strips that you can basically build your own eyelash shape with. And you also get half shape eyelashes, which is basically a half cut eyelash if you just want to lift the outer corner of your eyelashes. I like doing that a lot when I apply very intense lid colors and I really want the lid to be visible. With hooded eyes, your eyes tend to cover your lid a lot. So if you also have the lashes that cover at the front, then you don't really see the lid color. So what I normally then do is I wear something that lifts on the outside and just have the basic mascara on the inside so that you can still see the lid color come through the lashes there. You also get different kinds of lash glue when you apply the eyelashes. You get, I use this one at the moment, but I also love the Duo lash glue. It really lasts long and I haven't had any issues with it. You get the normal white one, which normally dries down as a clear glue, so it looks white when you apply it, but as soon as it dries down you don't see the white anymore. And then you also get a black lash glue that kind of blends in with your eyeliner. So if you don't like the lash glue sticking out or being a bit visible from your clear lash glue, then a black might be a better option. And the black also tends to hide the lash band a bit better as well. I generally like using using eyelashes with a very thin lash band. I know Ardell Eyelashes has a very thin, almost invisible lash band, which looks a lot more natural when you apply those. I see these do, it's the first time I use these. I see they do have quite a solid lash band. So what you want to do with the eyelashes is first measure it on your eye. Don't just go in and stick it on, then it's possibly too long and then it looks funny or it keeps scratching you. So what you do is you take it off, you measure where you want to put it, and then from the outside you trim with a little nail scissor or just a normal scissor. The piece that's too long, you trim it off, and then you put your lash glue on. I know some people do a dot on the outside, a dot on the inside, and then a dot in the center. I personally prefer just doing a thin layer on the entire strip so that nothing gets lifted. And if one of those 3 dots don't grip, then at least you have some lash glue a bit further on that grips. So what I do is I just place the lash where I would want it. I think I want to just remove this outer, that one single piece on the outer corner, because it's just too long for me, and I'm not going to do a half lash today. I'm going to try and apply the full lash. A nice trick that I've learned when doing this is to keep that in that outer part that you snip off, and if you just want to give your eyelashes just a little bit of a flick, then that works nicely to pop that on the outer corner. Okay, so I've cut that outer edge off and I just added it, I don't know if you can see, it's kind of bluish, a thin layer of the eyelash glue. You also get eyelashes that has its own glue built in, like a pre-glued eyelash. I know Ardell has some of those as well. They work very nicely. I don't know, I usually use them a few times and then just clean it off and re-glue it with my own eyelash glue when it doesn't stick. After you applied the eyelash glue, you have to wait about 30 to 60 seconds just for the eyelash glue to get tacky, otherwise it won't grip properly on your eyes. And then what I usually do is I come from the top and I try to just look down with my eye. So I try to place my mirror in such an angle where my eyelid looks down and I can actually easily reach from the top. You place it down kind of in the center, and then you just grip the outer part and secure it, and then grip the inner part and secure that against your eyelid. And then I just press the lashes up a bit so that my natural lashes press against those lashes. I don't normally do lashes this dramatic unless I go out to a fancy function and I've got a very extravagant eye makeup look and I need something very extravagant to go with it. So, okay, so let me do the other one off camera quick and I'll be back with you. Okay, so there I have my very dramatic eyelashes on now. I generally prefer using the smaller lash sets. I like shaping the eyelash in the way I prefer it, and I feel that they are easier to apply because you don't have the entire lash that you have to worry about. You have small pieces to worry about at a time, and if something looks weird, you can just pull that weird part off and then just reapply a new piece. I know they also sometimes call these lash clusters, they sometimes call it semi-permanent eyelashes. I think you do get those that is supposed to last a few days. I haven't had much success in having them last for too long. The moment I use eye makeup remover, they come off normally. And I don't have that problem when I have the permanent eyelash extensions. And then you also get the magnetic eyelashes. I saw that they recently brought out one that comes out with a clamp that looks like the lash curler that you just snap onto your lashes. I haven't used that before. I have tried using normal magnetic eyelashes and they're quite difficult to get used to using. I think it's a lot quicker and easier if you are in the habit of doing it often because you don't have to struggle with glue. However, I prefer struggling with the glue than struggling with the magnets, and they keep snapping against each other at weird places on your lash, and then you have to remove them and reapply them, and it's difficult to get them on. With regards to the eyelash glue, there's another one that I saw that I haven't used myself yet. It's like a liquid eyeliner glue. So you apply it like you would a normal liquid eyeliner, and then it doubles as an eyelash glue, and then you just stick your lashes to that. I haven't used it, so I can't really comment on how well it works. But it is there for the people who struggle with the lash glues and want to try something else. Okay guys, I think that's all I have for you now. I will, if I think of anything else that I forgot, just pop it in the comments, or if you have any tips that you would like to share, just throw them in the comments. I'm sure people would love to see those, and I can always just keep whatever comes up for a future video and do like a part 2 on beginner eyeshadow. I hope this helped. If it didn't help, please let me know what is unclear or what you would like to see in the future, and I can work on a video for that. So thanks for the support guys, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.